I'm ready for this shit.
You're lubed up and ready?
Just like the Cubs on Saturday.
Oh, damn. We're not doing that to start out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shane Newbert. And today I have one of my, oldest friends and one of my most talented friends sitting across from me. His name is Kerry Cortes. He tried out for The Voice. He's been the lead singer for 3 Mile High, Motor Biscuit. You probably know those bands if you're from around here. And, dude, I mean, I've seen you sing with Jason Derulo,
Yep.
Chris Brown,
Yep.
Neo. Yeah.
Yep.
Sporin. And dude, it's just so awesome. I've known you for forever, and it's so awesome to have you here.
I'm glad to be here, man.
Thank you.
Really a fantastic opportunity.
Dude, we just got done. We did 40 minutes on this site called Quarantine Karaoke.
Absolutely.
And Quarantine Karaoke is awesome. It's like this karaoke site they set up during coronavirus for people who just want to sing, have fun, can't go to a concert, or can't go to the bar and get drunk and sing karaoke. And I had a lot of fun.
Well, one of the good things about me is I never even knew about this website, and he's the one that brought it up to me, and I've been singing my whole life, and I've been looking for opportunity to sing for people, but over the last few months, with coronavirus, I haven't been able to do any of that kind of stuff, so doing this with Shane today was an awesome opportunity.
Isn't it kind of a cool thing that there were 600, 700 people that watched us live?
Yeah. Yep.
And to put that in perspective, imagine doing a concert for that many people, or me, doing stand-up in front of that many people. It's such a crazy thing, and boom, instantly. That's why I always think it's so cool when people, leaving comments, making it all the way through the podcast, liking, sharing, and seeing all the views and stuff. I think it's so awesome that people care maybe enough or interested enough.
Even when they give us ideas or songs that they want us to sing, it's okay, so they're actually engaged with us right now. That's what we like to hear.
Dude, you made me sound like a good singer. I didn't sound like I was almost said Kim Jong-un, but William Hung. She bangs.
Good old
Oh,
Americano.
baby, when she moves. Yeah. Oh, man. Dude, he was super famous. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
He got super famous.
He made it famous even though he didn't have a great voice. He just had to act.
I believe 3 albums, and if you fact check me, everybody knows that whatever said on Shot 30 Podcast may not be true.
It might be true.
It's a coin toss. Maybe a 3-sided coin toss. One side's true. So there's a 33.3% chance. And I learned that because I'm in business math right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty intense.
Business math is very easy.
Not for me. I don't think I could handle that very well.
Thank you for being here. And hey,
Absolutely.
If you like this podcast, go hit subscribe, like, share it, tell your friends. It's on YouTube. Shot the number 30 podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox. Not Spotify. I have to quit saying that because there's such an issue. They've only uploaded out of 50-some episodes. They've only let 3 go through.
And I think when I first had Spotify, I saw you were on there. So it's I'm gonna support my friend and check him out on Spotify. I've been checking YouTube ever since then, man.
Yeah, well, you can go to Apple Podcasts or CastBox, Stitcher. Those are that's our bread and butter, and it's doing better and better. So I want to say thank you, and I'm going to cheers again to all you out there. This is to all you great people. And so when you sang with Jason Derulo, I wish I could have said that you met him. Timmery has a huge crush on him. He's a big TikToker.
Really? Oh, he's huge.
Huge.
He even has that new song, Savage Love.
What's that mean?
It's there's a beat on TikTok that he took over and actually made a song, and it's pretty big.
Do you have a TikTok?
I do not have a
Why
TikTok.
are you wasting your... Okay, so first of all, you're not in quarantine karaoke, but you should be, and
I
you
just
are now.
found out.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But why aren't you... your voice is literally incredible.
So I know for probably about the last year or so, I've been kind of taking a break, not necessarily from singing, but from being at home, staying with my family a little bit as they're young. I got a 4-year-old and 2-year-old.
COVID doesn't help anything.
COVID absolutely doesn't help anything. So I do have a couple things in the plans, but as of right now, it's not going to happen with COVID. So hopefully this stuff gets out of the way so I can get out there and maybe I'll get an account.
Dude, maybe if people go over to Quarantine Karaoke and check out our concert, and they may like it, and maybe that's just a thing we do every single day to get rich or die trying.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It was so much fun. It's so much fun to be around you. I've just known you for so long, and it's always been so much fun every time.
I agree.
I mean, we've got We've got some stories, boy.
Man, do we have stories.
We got stories. Can you start in on that? What were we doing when we were eating all that hot shit? I think that's probably where I think that's where all my hot shit that I've done with Joe and all these people has stemmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what I remember, you were my manager at the time at Menards, and you were like, "Okay, every break we're gonna find something hot, whether it's from the Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, Walmart, anywhere we can go. We're gonna find something hot that we're both gonna try." And I'd say by the 20th, 30th time, we didn't even feel anything. We'd put it in our mouth and be like, it's kind of hot.
Yeah.
And we'd give it to somebody else and they'd be like, oh, man, I can hardly handle that. Like, how are you guys doing this?
Yeah, we were doing it with jerky, chips. Yep. I mean, just peppers.
Cheese puffs or whatever, the jalapeno cheese puffs.
The hot AF, like Slim Jims, whatever.
Beef jerky, yep, absolutely.
It was so weird how much, I was like, we're going to build resistance so then we can eat everything hot. And then, a couple years later, have you ever heard of the show called Hot Ones?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was our idea. That was our idea 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was our idea.
Well, and it's funny because I feel like you went the other way. So, like, when you eat hot stuff, you enjoy it. Granted, it probably hurts during the time, but you get pleasure out of it. When I eat something hot now, I could have a little bit of sriracha on my sandwich. Heartburn immediately. Dude, is that the old age finally coming up to me?
I have no idea, but that Packy One Chip Challenge, look at the bags behind you. We got that sent to us. Those are full of Carolina Reapers, Scorpion.
I don't think I can help you with that one, man.
You could try it. We just did that. That's the hottest gumball in the world, and that was
gumball.
Hottest gumball. Dude, we thought it was a joke. My buddy Ryan Knuth was on the pod, and we popped him in, and we were like Drogon from Game of Thrones.
Absolutely.
Just lighting up everybody. Dude, Khaleesi. Have you ever watched that?
No, I actually haven't.
So when I talk all this Game of Thrones nerd talk,
I just kind of pretend like I know it so you don't feel bad about,
okay.
Giving me references that I'm not very aware of.
Oh, so when I talk about the Cubs being the best team in Chicago. All right, so let's move on, dude.
Talking about, do you want to talk about the Cubs and the White Sox game last week, or do you?
I don't.
I will say what was it, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. He called me while I was at work. And he calls me and he's like, hey, do you have any Jose Abreu's for sale?
Dude.
And I'm like, I might have a couple. Are you looking for the 6 home runs in 3-day sale?
Dude, he's a stud muffin, man. He's a stud muffin. And that guy, he puts so much dip in his mouth.
Oh, he can hardly.
He's got to go one full can and then a second can because that thing's like
absolutely.
It's just like a glob of mouth cancer in there, and so he's riding out those millions to have that cyst or whatever removed in a few years.
Just give him a couple years. I think he's got 2 more years with the White Sox after this year, so we'll see what that takes.
I would really like to talk about your mom and your brother and what happened and how huge it was.
So honestly, it kind of started off as an idea.
Please just start off with the name of it. Yeah, okay, so then roll forward.
My mom owns a bakery in Galva, Illinois called Special Needs Bakery. Her and my brother, who is, I believe, 18 now. No, actually, I'm sorry, 17. No, he just turned 18.
Oh yeah, he just had a birthday. No, you're okay.
He just turned 18 earlier this year. So he's graduated from high school. My mom was kind of looking for something when she lost her job. She was kind of looking for something that would help her out, but would also help my youngest brother out, who has cerebral palsy. Thankfully, he's been blessed. They said he would never walk or talk. He's running. He's singing. Like I go over the house
and driving,
singing, and it's fantastic. Yeah, he's driving the golf cart now. So it's a fantastic thing. And I think back in January they got a call from Michael Strahan.
Wow, he was actually the one who called?
He was the one that called, yeah. And he was like, I want to get you guys on the show. My mom didn't answer it because she didn't know the number. I wouldn't answer the number if I didn't know it either. So he left her a voicemail and he called, and she actually got pranked the year before about Michael Strahan sending her a Facebook message and was like, hey, I want to get you on the show.
Oh, wow.
I had to break it to her that it wasn't actually the real Michael Strahan. So she was really upset. But hey, I think it was 10 months later, the actual Michael Strahan reached out to her, had her and my brother fly out to New York to actually be on Good Morning America. They went over the whole bakeries process, and they ended up giving my brother a golf cart.
Yeah.
So, and he's 18 years old. He's never been able to drive before. So now he has this golf cart. He can get around Galva because Galva actually has a thing in there where they can actually drive the golf cart instead of actually having a license. So
it's kind of
nice for him.
So awesome. And like, yeah, so go and the national attention that they got as well. I mean, I just saw 100,000, 200,000, 300,000.
Yep.
It was so awesome. So, hey, special needs. That's needs, Kneads.
Absolutely.
Needs. Bakery in Galville, Illinois. Go check it out. The stuff is literally gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
It's gorgeous. They make beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
she
awesome.
actually just hired a new employee named Lindsay, so she's been helping my mom come up with different ideas because, after a while it gets kind of hard to come up with different ideas, but when you have somebody else in there with a fresh mind, it kind of stirs
and they've
things
got
up and it's
that
helping my mom.
Taco Tuesday.
Oh yeah, every first Tuesday of the month, be sure to go to Special Needs Bakery for Taco Tuesday. It is fantastic.
Man, I was like literally drooling over some coffee cakes the other day.
Yeah,
I was wiping my face off.
And there's so many different kinds. She's got like cinnamon, she's got raspberry,
and everything, like almost everything for her bakery has been donated by people, right?
Yep, she actually
One just came from a school.
Yeah, she actually just got an oven, I believe, from a school, and a fryer from a school that she can actually, or like a grill that she can actually grill her food on.
Oh, that's
so instead of doing it outside, like every Tuesday, she has a take-home dinner or so. Right now, she didn't really have the equipment for it. She was doing a lot of it on the stove. Well, now she has actual grill tops, so it should be a lot better for her.
Man, that's so awesome. Yeah. That's so awesome. We feel like we get stuck in this rut, and
especially this year with COVID, it's just been such a party pooper.
But then there's such good things like this happening.
You're right.
It's a very awesome thing, and I'm so happy for her. I really want your mom and Frankie to come, your mom and your brother to come on the podcast, and I think it would be a lot of fun.
It would.
Yeah, because your mom's fun. She's fun. She's goofy.
I mean, if you like me, you like my mom. So.
Oh, I did. One and the same, except for I didn't get invited to your wedding. I'm still holding that against you. I mean, I'm like...
It just got kind of awkward.
What are you going to do with your hands, bro? Because I literally...
actually thinking about it, I don't think I got invited to your wedding either. But it was probably because you weren't invited to my wedding.
Yeah. How long you been married?
I've been married for 5 years this year.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely because I didn't get invited to yours.
Yeah, absolutely. He was still a little bit salty, which I understand.
Dude, I literally talked shit to your mom when I saw her at Walmart one day.
No, you saw my mom at Walmart, and I was with her. Oh. And you came up to me, and you're like, so I'm not coming to your wedding? And I was like, it's not that we don't want to invite you. We just have so many, like, my dad. Okay, so my dad's
so many
side of the
more
family,
people that are important.
Yeah,
so many more important people.
You're important.
If your wedding was tomorrow, would I be invited?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Without question.
But I am so happy and thankful that you and your wife, your beautiful wife, and you have a beautiful family. You have 2 beautiful sons, and I'm so happy. Like when I messaged Addie, like I'm really so happy for you when really good people meet the right person. Yeah, because I've met the wrong person and I did a lot of stressful wrong things. Yep. But when you meet the right person and you're with that person, your whole life is different. And the number one thing I always say is that person should be your best friend.
Oh yeah, you're able to enjoy life on a whole different perspective than you were before. Where before you were like, okay, like everything I do is trying to please this person. Where now it's okay, everything I do is pleasing this person. So it's kind of a different perspective when you come from somebody who actually supports you and loves what you're doing.
I totally see what you're saying, but I also think like it goes from this idea of I want to make this person happy, I want to do this for this person too. Then it becomes this bond when you're like a best friend with a person of we want to make each other happy.
For sure.
Like, let's do everything we can moving forward from this day to make our lives so much easier. No doubt. It's the coolest thing,
It's teamwork at its finest.
Yeah.
You think teamwork is great in sports, but then you see marriage and kids, and you're like, this is what it's all about, man. This is life. This is what it's all about. So to let everybody know what I did, I knew Kerry wouldn't actually follow through with coming here, so I messaged his wife. I get kind of stage fright a little bit.
And I literally sent her the begging hands and told her, please let him come on this show, please.
However,
I've asked you 1 million times. I've asked you just say yes.
He has asked me 1 million times, but I will say that my wife has been supportive of it 100%, and it's not that I didn't want to be on your show.
I'm going to make it clear. I'm getting there.
It's not that I didn't want to be on your show.
I know that his wife would let him come here and do this show. I knew that he was the piece of crap dodging me. And
I get a little bit stage fright. I mean, I haven't been in a band for almost a year now.
But
so like,
why
for me,
not?
I shouldn't. It's always been a confidence thing for me. And when I'm around you, I have confidence.
But
I absolutely have confidence.
It's not that, it is so funny every time when we're around each other. I'm not a singer. I'm not a singing guy.
But he sounds fantastic when we sing together. It's fun. I think it's more of a confidence thing. Once I'm here, he's like, oh, he can kind of sing. So then he comes in and he's like, oh, this is the note I'm supposed to hit. Okay, like I actually sound good. I'm confident. I can do this.
Dude, you actually used to give me vocal lessons when we were... Because when we worked together at Menards, I'm going to drop this out. So I was the manager. This is a part-time morning stalker. Like, all he is supposed to do is go to an area of the lumberyard and just load lumber up into a spot. And I'd known Kerry, and I love him. He was one of my closest friends. And I went, Kerry, I need you. And so I'd call everybody, hey, I need Kerry to work with me today.
Always.
There's a lot. I'm so busy. Every day that I needed you as a personal assistant.
Always.
And personal assistant meant personal fuck around buddy. Yeah. Like,
I remember riding off the side of your forklift, and I would jump off and grab lumber, put it on your tines, ride back on. You'd go down and be like, all right, pick up that piece of lumber too, throw it on there.
Dude, we weren't even doing anything because we had to go back and put it all back.
Yep. Too bad we weren't making videos back then, dude.
Too bad we weren't making like $28 an hour working there.
I definitely wasn't.
If I was even making $20 an hour, I would have never left that.
Oh, I probably wouldn't have left
because
either.
we were having the most fun ever.
Honestly, it was some of the most fun of my life.
Linktine, Blue Mesh Mallet. We gave each other all like code names.
What was I? Thinway
Wrench.
Wrench. Yeah.
So
I was
stupid.
thinking thin because of the Thin Mints. That was part of
But that's how we did it.
Well, you know, it's funny. It's Thinway Wrench. Mm-hmm. It was Thin Mints. It was because we were eating Subway, and it was because there was a wrench on the table. So we were like, oh, Thinway Wrench.
Yeah. Mine was Blue Mesh Mallet. Because I was dressed in blue. I had some, like, mesh on the tines, and I had a mallet in the back.
He always had a mallet. He always carried a mallet.
Because I would always throw Thor. Dude, that's what I was going to say. I would always just launch it across the yard like I was Thor.
Yep.
It's so funny. It's so funny looking back. And
gosh, that was already 8 years ago. Like, where did life go, man?
8 years, man. I got more than that. It's more than that. I started working the other job, and I don't talk about it because it's involved with this day.
Yeah.
But I worked the other job for 6 years, and then I'm at my new job for 3 years. So it's more than 9 years.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
It's been a long time since we've been.
That just says how long we've been friends, though. Like, we just haven't been able to get together over the last.
I don't think that's the case. I think it's me and my persistence, because I don't ever see you pursuing me. I see me going to Subway to go talk to you and things like this. You know, I don't see you ever going out of your way. But that's fine.
If I knew exactly where you worked and where I could meet you, I probably would be the one that would come get you. But you're usually the one that catches me off guard, and you're calling me at
like
work.
If I worked at the Lions, then you'd visit me a lot?
Oh, more than I probably want to imagine, yes.
That's hilarious. Dude, I'm so thankful you're here. I want to dive into a couple other things, but okay, so with your mom is doing all this stuff in Galva, do you help in any way? Do they need help?
I mean, I would like to think I help, but for the most part, I mean, my mom and my brother pretty much run the show there. They just, like I said, they just hired a new girl. Her name is Lindsay. She's been my mom's help. So, like, on Tuesdays, she has a take-home dinner. They call them Tuesday take-home dinners. So I say every Tuesday she has a different kind of dinner, and her new assistant kind of helps her come up with different ideas and kind of throws things out there. And my brother's always the front person at the store. So if you walk in, you're going to be dealing with Frankie, which is fantastic. That's the person you want to deal with. My mom's always in the back. She's making stuff, but she has no problem coming up front and, talking to everybody.
Yeah, she's
like
a sweetheart.
Oh, for sure.
Well, okay, so with that all aside, and with your family stuff all aside, now your history in music is something that I am, first of all, fascinated with. And your whole story is kind of something that I think is incredible. You don't need to get in like the nitty gritty, some of like the bad parts of it. But I've been to a concert where there are thousands of people standing around me, and I'm just looking at my buddy that I just was grabbing his butt cheeks at work. And you're on stage in front of thousands of people just rocking.
Yeah.
When it was at Northeast, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how do you get there? How do you feel about it? And moving forward, did you have the drive to keep moving forward?
Well, so honestly, like, I never knew I was a singer. I'd always had a karaoke machine, and when I was younger, I'd used to sing the karaoke machine and kind of not video record back then. I guess it was just recording myself on the tape, you know, and I'd play back and be like, oh, you know, that sounds pretty good. And then high school comes around, and we're going to the football games all the time because I didn't play football. And they're like, man, we're singing along to all the songs.
Shout out to Greg, because Greg was a stud.
Absolutely. And when we were singing, they were like, you should try out for the school musical. And I was like, well, that's never something that I've been comfortable necessarily singing with, was singing like for a musical. So it's like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And if I make it, I'll do it, but I'm probably not going to make it. Well, I sang it and I got the second leading role for the males. So like, I was like, you know what? I guess I have somewhat of a thing in here. And then a month later or so, I had another guy from the play approach me about joining a band. And then I had another friend who was interested in joining a band. And we created Motor Biscuit, and we were around for... Let's see, 2008 until 2013. I heard
Motor Biscuit
probably?
On the radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Yeah, and then I know I left them for a couple years. I didn't really know where I wanted to go musically, and then I ended up rejoining them, and we opened for Hailstorm here in Kewanee. Well, not here, but where I live in Kewanee.
Yeah,
and
because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
We're just a speck of dust.
Yep, and at that point, we were actually going to Western. In Macomb, so we drove out there, we played a show, and it was fantastic. And then Motor Biscuit ended up going in separate ways, and I joined 3 Mile High, and we were together for probably 4 years and singing different shows and things like that. And I joined this different app on my phone called Smule.
Yeah.
And I probably produced 40, 50 videos on there too. So
yeah, your Smule was awesome. That was where I saw you sing with Jason Derulo, Chris Brown, you know,
Neo
and Neon, and those guys. And those guys. But now, why do you see? This is a thing that I was talking about with our last guest. This episode was going to be up tomorrow. His name is Dalton Tucker.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player.
Yeah.
Why don't you just pursue things on your own more, and then let things fall into place where you are kind of the nucleus of the whole source?
So, like, probably my biggest issue is I've never played a set instrument. Like, I can go up to a guitar and I can play a song, but it's going to be by ear. It's going to be whatever notes I know, I'm going to be able to play it. Piano, same way. Guitar, same way. Drums, same way. It's some reason, I don't know if I'm stuck in being a singer or...
Well, no, you are a singer. You don't need to be all those instruments.
Yeah.
But why are you not moving forward with just your singing alone, or you being, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you would like to do this, here's the music.
Yeah.
Play with me if you want. But you move forward.
So I think a lot of that comes from me not playing an instrument, and if I have to sing for somebody,
you feel like you're alone.
I have to pull up a karaoke track or somebody that knows how to play that song. So I always have to have somebody. Not saying I can't sing a cappella, because I'm very comfortable with singing a cappella. But when it comes to having somebody else to sing with me, it makes me feel 100 times more confident. Kind of like when you're singing with me. Like,
absolutely.
Really, yeah.
So I wanted to take this back, because that's why I wanted to talk to you about that. Is when I started the podcast, I needed someone to, this isn't my show. We're going to be co-hosts. It's going to, and Timmy just kept saying, no, it's your deal. I'll help you as much as you want. We'll record as much as we want, but this is you.
Yeah.
And no matter who else we get on here, it's going to be you.
Absolutely.
This is you. And so I just kept recording and recording. We recorded 50-hour-long episodes before we ever uploaded one.
Oh, my gosh.
And I edited them all.
Yeah.
So, 4 hours per every
it's a lot
episode.
Of work. And honestly, when it comes to podcasts and doing a video attached with the podcast, people don't realize how much work that is. You have to go through, you have to edit it, you have to make sure everything is said correctly, you have to make sure everything flows correctly, all the sound matches with the video. It's a lot more than what it looks like. So I give you credit for, doing it all by yourself. I know Timmery has helped a lot.
Oh,
but
man,
I know
yeah.
you've done a fantastic job of getting this started by yourself.
It's very cool because my life took just a hard redirection after powerlifting was done.
Yeah.
After I was done with that, then I was just, in my brain, I felt like I've got nothing now.
Yeah.
There's nothing what's Shane Newbert known for? And my brain, it was nothing now.
Yeah.
It was the guy who used to be a pretty good powerlifter.
Yeah.
And then, now I'm like, I need this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do stand-up. I want to make these skits. I want to make people laugh. I want to make people happy. I want to put a beer bottle in between my butt cheeks and get a lot of hate mail.
Yep.
Or make an O.J. Simpson video where I was making fun of, like, I was saying O.J. was a piece of crap. Like, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And people were like,
Oh, I saw all the negative comments.
oh, dude, they were coming in. How are you going to support, I was like, what is going on? I just looked to the gods and I prayed that this wasn't the end of me.
Absolutely. No, and I think, like, a lot of the times, I don't know if it's because we live so far apart, but we haven't really been able to connect as much as we used to when we see each other.
It's probably because you don't answer the phone calls or texts or
And it doesn't help that
Facebook
right now
messages.
my phone isn't really working to answer phone calls, so... Anyways, it's fantastic that I've been watching him for the last year or so, year and a half.
Yeah, about a year.
Doing Shot 30 podcast, and every time I'm like, dang, I really want to be a part of that,
dude.
And every time, and he's asked me, and not that he hasn't asked me to join his show, but it's just like my schedule just hadn't worked out that day, and when I was with the band, it was really, really hard to find a schedule. I got nothing now. I could be here every week if you want me to.
It could be a cool thing if we do a podcast and then we hop back on quarantine karaoke where it's just so much fun and to let loose and to be really live and hear people's intake.
Right, and their feedback is right away too. We don't have to wait for it until after the video's posted, after it goes through the process and everything.
Yeah, no editing,
right away.
No pushing it out.
You know what? If it sucks, delete.
Just absolutely. Absolutely. It's one button away. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I wish I could do that with podcasts, but I put so much time into it.
Like, I guess I could edit this part for a minute, but then it's going to look awkward when he's not wearing his hat anymore.
Oh, shut up. So, the transition... Oh, let me get this out of here first. Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies. Mrs. Newbie's makes the most beautiful... decorative cakes, cuppies? Cuppies, yeah, that works. In the last podcast, I said, hey, everybody, my name is Shane Newber. I know. And then I went, did I really just pronounce my name wrong?
Newber.
Cakes, cookies, cupcakes, all those things. Visit Miss Newbie's Cakes and Cookies on Facebook and Instagram today and get your beautiful delights. And it's also sponsored by Conspiracy Kimonos. Get your custom-made gi for jiu-jitsu. He is on Facebook and Instagram, and his stuff is 100% top quality. There's a gi right behind you. It's right on the wall. If you wrap your arm around, right behind that Spider-Man sign. Yeah, there's a gi over there, and it is a beautiful gi. Visit him on Facebook and Instagram, and also one more. Handmade by Haley, coming out of Kewanee, Illinois. Haley Paxton is such a talented lady. She makes signs for any holiday, for any occasion. She makes signs for your living room, kitchen, bathroom. They can say whatever. She's very talented. Visit Handmade by Haley on Facebook today, and she's a sweetheart. And so is her boyfriend, Josh, because I get in trouble every time I say husband.
So you gotta make sure,
Yeah, every time
make
I
sure
do
to say
that.
it right.
Yeah, they come at me with whips and chains. Whips and chains excite me.
So are we gonna start singing now, or like?
I just don't want to get copyrighted on this.
That's the one thing. But where can they check us out? I forget where they could check us out at.
Quarantine Karaoke.
Quarantine Karaoke. And
there's a 40-minute episode of us just singing. We should try to make like some video of just covers, us just singing covers just for YouTube.
Just so you guys can see it.
Yeah.
Strictly for you guys.
Because we don't want you to work too hard and have to go to Facebook. Whoa.
And with all the copyright issues, you never really know where you can see us at.
Yeah. But they can see us right here on Shot 30 Podcast.
100%.
Yeah. And so, okay, now you are a family man now. Mm-hmm. Does this stop your goals moving forward?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
let me tell everybody, because I want to reiterate, you are one of the most talented men I've ever met. You have such a powerful voice. You can go any range, anywhere, any style. And I don't think that just because you're 30 years old? 29?
I mean, I wouldn't push it.
Are you 29?
Yeah, I'm 29.
So am I.
So I'm pretty close to 30. So we're both feeling the dirty 30 coming
Pudge
up.
got whooped by Jeremy. Okay.
That's what this was.
He's lucky he's not dead. All right, dude. Bleep. Okay, so, but do you gotta have goals moving forward. Do The Voice again. Do American Idol or whatever the hell it is.
So, honestly, ever since I became a family man, as you would put it, my kids and my wife come first. So, like, if I can do music, absolutely, I would love to make that my career. I would love to make that what I do to make money for my family.
Do you think there's a way you could do it with them? Like, where you could include them into
I think so too.
Making a product that could move forward with?
I think the hardest, as you know, the hardest part right now is with COVID. A lot of bars right now aren't having a lot of singers out, and that was my main source of getting out at the point.
Is your perspective changed now with like quarantine karaoke?
Well, now that
and
I
all
see
these
that,
things, like, you can push forward with those things. They're right there for you, right there for the taking.
So I've always
thousands of viewers.
Oh yeah, and I've always been like I don't know if you guys have heard of the Smule app, but SMULE. They have basically it's karaoke songs. You sing to it. You put your own spin to it and you publish it. So everybody can check out your page, give you likes, check out your videos, do all that kind of stuff. And that's fun. It's fun for the most part, but I'm so used to seeing that interaction with the crowd and seeing the instant, claps and the instant, like, people are like, oh, wow, like, they can actually pull this off. And it's a totally different feeling when it's live. So I think right now with COVID, it's so hard for me to find my groove when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Maybe just getting your feet wet. You could be just a person who needs that little push.
Yeah.
Hey, you're going to be fine. Here you go.
Yep.
And then go this direction. But you have to have a goal moving forward.
Yeah,
I think that's a big problem. You could do something. Oh, I'm posting stand-up on Facebook.
Yeah.
And no one's ever going to see it unless you're doing more things and more things and more things.
If you're talking about yourself, I know for a fact that it's not just me watching your videos. There is hundreds of thousands of people out there watching either your videos, watching your
butt chugs.
Yeah, I mean, all that good stuff. And the one I always go back to, I don't know, I find it so funny, is when you threw up the ball and you hit it up in the air and you shot the beer,
dude,
and then you grab the ball. I was like, that should be like millionaire shit right there.
Okay, so what happened during that video, which you're gonna die over?
Yes, I am.
Is that was take 60. It is one of the most complicated things to do. Is I put a beer on top of a baseball bat, launched it straight up into the air. Temery pitched from the mound. I hit the ball. And then caught the beer and chugged the beer.
And now I do give him a lot of credit for this, but I think Temery was probably the MVP in this. Because she had to throw the ball, and she was bad.
No, she was so mad at me because it was take 60, and I still hadn't completed the task.
She probably threw it perfect all 60 times.
Most times, yeah.
So for you, you're like, man, my wife is throwing it perfect, but I can't do anything.
I could never catch the beer. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I was going to tell you. We have a take where I launch it, I hit the ball, like smoke it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe home run stats, I don't know. And the beer comes down on my head.
Oh, no.
Dude, just smashes my head and explodes. And Temery goes, so is that good enough? Like, she was so mad. Because we were out there for hours.
So take 60 was when you're like, all right, I got this. And you pop it up right to yourself, like just straight up in the air. You chug that beer, and then you end the video.
Oh, dude, it was like, I made contact and chugged the beer. We're done. I was still kind of
That's all that mattered.
I was still kind of in. I was still kind of in, and she goes, no, we're not doing any more. We've been to the gas station 5 times to buy cases of beer. We're not doing this anymore. It was
after 30, it gets kind of rough because you got to buy a new pack. You got to.
On Barstool, when that got shared by Barstool, one of their smaller versions that they have, it was called Starting 9, their baseball version of Barstool Sports. Every single person destroyed me. They said, this fat ass, this dumb dick, this chumley looking ass.
And you know what's funny?
But they came in and they said Temery was the real MVP,
the
in this video. Is that chick that threw that pitch and screamed so happy for this idiot.
So, like, when I watched that video, I didn't get a rise from you actually hitting the ball. I got a rise from hearing Timmery go, yeah! Like, you actually hit the ball! Like, the first 60 times, you probably didn't hit the ball. So I think the 60th time when you hit the ball, she probably went crazy.
Actually, the hitting the ball that was it. All I could do was hit the ball and then wait to see. I was getting pelted in the arm by this rocket beer can coming down. Dude, so hitting the ball was the easy part. It was catching that beer can that I launched.
Yeah. I watched that and I was like, there's no way I could even come close to that.
Okay, so when all the shit talk came in, it was wicked. But my thing was, you do it then. You do it.
Yeah, let's see you throw up a can in the air and hit a ball and then chug the beer before the ball even falls down.
Oh, man. It was just so much wicked comments coming. Oh, man. I don't even want to dive into that.
Oh,
but those comments
too
were
much,
rough.
Honestly.
I'd learned to just start deleting, like not deleting, but ignoring.
Kind of ignoring them, yeah.
There was a lot of, this guy should have been aborted. This guy should have been left on the sheets. This piece of shit. What does he think anything? And I just have to clear my mind.
And see, like, when I first started, like, I've been singing in bands for probably 11, 12 years now, roughly. But probably after year 4 is when I was like, all right, I'm gonna feel comfortable. I'm gonna upload myself online. And as soon as I did, all I saw was the negative comments. And I don't know if that's something about me that I see the negative things and I just tear myself down. Mm-hmm. But then I see the positive ones and I'm like, okay, I like that. Like, I'll see like how everybody else likes it and I'll keep going.
I know that a comment for you like that would be something along the lines of, well, maybe you should sing this song instead.
Yeah. Like Wagon Wheel.
Yeah. Why don't you sing this song instead? That's literally you saying, well, you sound like shit when you sing this song, or I don't like it when you sing the song.
Yeah.
And one person's perspective of everything does not really have to matter. It doesn't.
And just in case you guys forgot, we are Shot 30 Podcast. This is Shane Newbert. I'm Kerry Cortes. I'm the special guest today. He usually does this part, but I just wanted to make sure that he was getting proper credit for this, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here today.
If anybody's here at this point, I mean, they're already listening to this on Shot 30 Podcast, bro.
I mean, now that you say that, I guess you got a point. You do have a point.
You could slide forward and say, hey, hit subscribe or listen on all the other podcasts.
I could plug my Facebook page. But...
Plug it. Plug whatever you want, dude. You are so talented. And you need to come up with and you've done this a million times.
I have.
Come up with something. Just get on Quarantine Karaoke again, even if it's me and you. Yep. We will get it together. Yeah. We'll have the links all put together.
Sure. And this is something me and him first ever did. It's the first time we ever like actually sang together and actually made it live for people to hear. Now, how many times would you say that we actually sang together and nobody ever actually heard it?
Well,
besides Timmery, because obviously she probably heard it all.
I think that we've done a lot. I mean, we've recorded a lot, but never posted, and we did a lot. We did some when you were going to Western, and I was there, and then we did some on that way to the White Sox game.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And there was a lot of fun times there. But I just think, moving forward, this Quarantine Karaoke, it could be a huge route for you. I think that you need to come up with something, though, separate, because you are talented.
So
when we work together, it's talent and goofy, and we just mesh really well.
It works fantastic. So if you are looking to follow me, you can find me on Kerry Cortes. Cortes is my last name, how it actually spelled. But you can actually follow me on Kerry_on_. And that's my Facebook page. I don't really have a whole lot of content going on now, but honestly, with teaming up with Shane, I feel like I'm going to have an exuberant content coming out soon.
Dude, it's always just, we got to be busy. It's always thinking about what's the next thing we can do moving forward. And it doesn't even have to be, you don't have to be on the radio.
No.
You don't need... But to be happy and doing a hobby or something that makes you feel better and makes you feel like you're having fun, and it gives you your individuality, and that's your individuality is your beautiful family, your singing, and the fact that you think that the White Sox are better than the Cubs, and everybody goes to your page to talk shit. That's your individuality.
Well, I will say. So
here we go. If you go, I just said 2 sweet things, and then one shitty thing about the Cubs White Sox. So if you choose to pass over the wife and the family,
so I'm actually gonna switch it to the White Sox real quick. So like. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I grew up in the south side of Chicago. When I moved to Kewanee, one of the first people that said something to me was this guy right here.
Okay.
And I knew he was a Cubs fan. I knew I was a Sox fan. Where I come from, that is the biggest rivalry ever. So I literally come from the south side of Chicago. So like all my friends, half of my friends were Cub fans, half of my friends were Sox fans. When I moved to Galva in 2003, I'd say 95% of my friends were Cubs fans, and 5% didn't care. So, like, Shane was one of my main people that I always went back to, like, hey, man, like, the Cubs are doing good this year. And then when they won the World Series, I don't even think I texted you, did I? I didn't even say a word.
When the Cubs won the World Series, I let you know.
Now, I will tell you, so I was kind of upset at the time because my son was born in 2016.
It's a great year.
And what year did the Cubs win the World Series?
Just look up. You're sitting right above it.
2016. Okay. So
this whole video is been showing that right behind your head. No, it's out of it.
And I didn't even know. So, like, when my son was born in 2016, I was like, you know what? My son was born the year the Cubs won. Like, I couldn't fathom that, and I couldn't do that. So, like, immediately when he was born, I was like, I'm going to buy a White Sox hat. I'm going to put a White Sox hat.
I saw when you did it right away.
Dude,
this littlest hat.
I will tell you one thing. So, like, coming from the south side of Chicago, everybody out there was a Sox fan or a Cubs fan. When I moved to Galva and I realized that Cardinals fans exist and there's Cubs fans as well.
They don't exist.
Now, I will say it was probably 5% Cards fans and 95% Cubs fans. But, like, all my friends now are Cubs fans. So, this past weekend when the Sox actually, for once, did good and beat the Cubs 2 out of 3 games, I wasn't quiet about it. That was probably the first time I wasn't quiet about baseball in the last at least 6 years since the Cubs won the World Series.
Yeah, like such a big deal when a third-place team beats a first-place team.
And I lost my ring.
What the hell? What ring fell off?
My pinky ring.
Dude, why are you wearing a pinky ring? I wear a pinky toe ring.
So I will say, I actually told my wife this before I came on today. I'm going to wear a pinky ring because I really don't like the way my pinky looks. So if I wear a pinky ring that's white gold with a little bit of ruby on it, maybe nobody will notice, and you still brought it up.
Yeah, so it's still got noticed.
I'm pretty upset about...
Now that you said that, I'm really noticing how small your pinky is.
Well, and look at it's like broken.
It's like really like lumpy.
I'm assuming one of my brothers, I have 3 little brothers, I'm assuming at some point when I was a baby, they probably broke my finger, and I don't even know about it. Because if you look at it...
So your 3 little brothers were just swimming around in there for years?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Why'd they break your pinky?
Well, I know, like, Greg, he was a year and a day.
Oh, you're talking, like, as you were growing up.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about when you were swimming.
Classic Shane Newbert right there. So,
oh, my God.
No, so, like, me and Greg, like, most people don't know, we're literally a year and a day apart. So I was born February 2nd, or I'm sorry. I was born February 1st, 1991. He was born February 2nd, 1992.
Ooh.
So after that moment, like, I had a best friend built in, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have been a Sox fan first. So I kind of, like, put him into the whole White Sox mood and got him into a White Sox fan. And I'm doing the same things to my kid now. It's kind of funny how it works out.
I hope your kids are hardcore Cub fans.
just to spite me.
Even to be worse, Tiger fans.
Oh, God.
This is Shot 30 Podcast. Kerry, you will be back. I hope you'll be back.
So Shane has offered a million times, and I take this upon myself because I'm kind of a person that once I get in the spotlight, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to feature you on my podcast, I'm like, I'm probably not going to talk a whole lot.
Dude, I think you were great. This is awesome. We will move forward with a whole bunch of things. We have so many ideas that just keeps moving.
This is just number 1.
And the quarantine karaoke, So much fun. So if you guys haven't already, check out the past episodes, the future episodes. Check us out on Quarantine Karaoke. That's Kerry Cortes. I'm Shane Newbert. Please hit that like, share, subscribe, and he has one more thing to say.
And I don't know if you know this, but this guy right here, Shane Newbert, be sure to follow him. He is not only a professional singer, he's a professional comedian, and at all times he makes you happy. So like, as long as you're around Shane, you're going to be happy, you're going to be 100% confident. You're going to do your thing, and he's going to do your thing right along with you.
That's just, dude, that's so sweet. We've had a couple of people say sweet things at the end of the podcast, and man, I'm glad that somehow that I made you feel that way, because you're the best. This is awesome.
I will say one thing, Shane, when I first met him, he was my boss. Slowly over the years, we become slowly from boss to friend. And now he's one of my closest friends. So I really appreciate you getting me on the podcast. I know you've tried a few different times, and our schedules haven't quite lined up. But this time it was wonderful.
And it will line up again. This is Shot 30 Podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And thank you for listening. And Kerry, thank you for being awesome.
Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it, brother.